Give me 1 minute, just 1 minute of your time. That is all I'm asking. Before you scroll past, before you move on, before you convince yourself that you are too busy or too tired or too far gone for this to matter, give me 1 minute. Because in 1 minute, I can tell you something that could change everything. You have been carrying something that was never meant for your shoulders alone. You have been fighting battles in silence that I have been waiting to fight with you. You have been looking for something, peace, purpose, a reason to keep going, and you have been looking in places that cannot give it to you. I can give it to you. Not someday, not when you have it together. Right now, exactly as you are. In this 1 minute, you gave me. You are not too broken. You are not too late. You are not forgotten. You are mine, and I have been waiting for this 1 minute with you for a very long time. I love you, always, without end. My child, give me 1 minute, just one, before the day pulls you back, before the noise returns, before you convince yourself that you do not have time for this, that you have heard things like this before, that nothing is going to be different this time. Before any of that happens, give me 1 minute, and then stay. Because what I have to say to you today is going to take longer than 1 minute. But I needed that 1 minute first. I needed you to stop, to actually stop. Not just pause, stop. Put everything else on hold. Set down whatever you were carrying into this moment and just be here, with me, for as long as it takes. You gave me the minute. Now let me give you something back. I want to start by telling you something I need you to hear before anything else. Before the message, before the encouragement, before whatever it is you were hoping to get from stopping here today. I need to say this first because everything else builds on it. I know where you are right now. Not approximately, not in a general sense. Exactly. I know the specific room, the specific time of day, the specific weight you carried into this moment. I know what happened this morning that you have not told anyone about. I know what kept you up last night. I know what you are hoping for and what you are afraid of and what you have started to quietly give up on without quite admitting to yourself that you have given up on it. I know all of it. And I am not looking at any of it with disappointment. I am looking at it, and at you, with love. The kind of love that is not surprised by any of what I just listed. The kind of love that knew all of it before this moment and chose to be here anyway. That is where we are starting today. From that place of being completely known and completely loved at the same time. I want to talk to you about the 1 minute you just gave me, because I want you to understand what happened in that minute. What was set in motion the moment you stopped and chose to be here. Because from where I stand, that minute was not small. That minute was significant. The stopping itself was an act of faith, not the bold, dramatic, mountain-moving kind. The small, tired, not sure why I am doing this kind. But faith, nonetheless. The decision to give me 1 minute when you had 100 reasons not to. That decision reached me. It registered here. And I responded to it immediately. The way I always respond to even the smallest reaching. Something is already happening, my child. In you, in this moment. In the spiritual dimension that underlies everything you can see. Something moved when you stopped. Something shifted when you gave me the minute. And what I'm going to do with this conversation is build on that movement. Take what began in that 1 minute of stopping and extend it. Deepen it. Make it into something that carries further than this moment. Stay with me. The minute is over. But we are just beginning. I want to talk to you about the life you have been living in, the spaces between the moments when you stop like this. 'Cause I know those spaces. I know the pace of your days and the weight of your responsibilities and the way one thing blurs into the next until you look up and realize that weeks have passed and you have not once truly stopped, not truly been present, not truly breathed. The busyness of your life is not something I am judging you for. I understand why it exists. I understand the demands, the obligations, the people who need things from you, the tasks that do not get done if you do not do them. I understand that the pace of modern life makes stopping feel like a luxury you cannot afford. But my child, the stopping is not a luxury. It is a necessity, not just for your mental health, not just for your physical well-being, though those things matter, and your body needs rest more than you have been giving it. The stopping is a necessity for your soul, because your soul was not designed for the pace you have been keeping. It was designed for connection with me, with the people you love, with the deep and quiet parts of yourself that only become accessible when the noise stops long enough to hear them. You are running too fast, my child. Not in a moral failure sense, not something to feel guilty about. Just in a simple, factual, your body and soul are telling you sense. The signs are there if you look at them. The exhaustion that sleep does not fully fix. The sense of going through motions rather than actually living. The feeling of being busy with everything and present for nothing. The growing disconnection from the things that used to matter to you. And I am inviting you today, starting with this moment, to begin making that change. Not dramatically, not dropping everything and reorganizing your entire life in a single decision. But starting here, with this moment of stopping, and making a decision that this kind of stopping, this giving me even a few minutes, this genuine pausing in the middle of the race, is going to become something you do, regularly, intentionally, not for my sake. I do not need your minutes, for yours, because the minutes you give me are the minutes that make all the other minutes sustainable. I want to speak to the thing you came here carrying today, the specific weight, whatever it was that was on you when you pressed play, whatever need, whatever worry, whatever heavy thing has been with you, I want to speak to it now. Not around it, not in general terms that might apply to it, but directly to it. I see it. I know exactly what it is, and I want you to know. It is not too big for me, whatever it is. The thing that feels too large to solve, too complicated to untangle, too long-standing to change. Not too big for me. I have been in harder situations than yours and brought things through that had no human solution. I have made ways through things that had no visible path. I have taken what looked like dead ends and opened them into roads that led somewhere real. Your situation is not beyond me. Whatever you have been told, whatever you have concluded from the evidence available to you, whatever the voice has been saying about the hopelessness of it, I need you to hear a different voice today. Mine. And what I am saying is, not too big, not too late, not over. I want to talk to you about time. Because one of the most effective tactics of discouragement is convincing people that they have waited too long, that the window has closed, that the right moment has passed, that if something was going to happen, it would have happened already. And the fact that it has not is evidence that it is not going to. That is a lie. And I want to dismantle it today as thoroughly as I can, not because you deserve it more than others. Not because you have been faithful enough or patient enough or good enough, but because I am a God who does things like that, who surprises, who shows up, who makes ways where there are no ways. And your life, your specific, still unfinished story, is one I have not finished writing. I want to speak to loneliness now, because I know that for many people who find themselves in a moment like this one, stopping, listening, giving me a minute, the stopping happens in the middle of a particular kind of aloneness. The aloneness of feeling like no one truly understands what you are going through, of having people around you who love you but who cannot quite reach the specific place where you are hurting. Of carrying something that is too hard to explain or too private to share or too complicated to put into words that would make sense to anyone who has not lived it. I understand that aloneness, and I am here to tell you directly, you are not in it alone. I am not a distant observer of your loneliness. I am present in it, specifically personally present, not just generally aware that you exist and that you are struggling. Present with you, in the specific room, in the specific moment, knowing the specific texture of what the aloneness feels like from inside your particular life. That presence is not abstract, it is real, and it is available to you right now. Not as a concept, not as a theological idea, but as an actual experience of not aloneness that is possible when you let yourself actually receive it. I want to address the discouragement that has been building, because I know it has been building, slowly, over time, through the accumulation of days that did not go the way you hoped, and weeks that passed without the things you were waiting for, and months that have turned into something longer than you wanted to wait. Discouragement that grows slowly is the hardest kind to fight, because it does not arrive as a dramatic crisis that demands a response. It creeps in gradually until it has colored everything, until the default has shifted from hope to resignation without you quite noticing when the shift happened. My child, I want to close by coming back to where we started. 1 minute. You gave me 1 minute. And look at what has happened in the minutes since. Look at how much has been said. Look at how much has landed. Some of it in places you expected. Some of it in places you did not know needed something until it arrived there. That is what happens when you stop. When you give me the minute. When you let the conversation begin. Notice that difference, my child. Pay attention to it. Let it become the reason you keep coming back. Give me 1 minute tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after that, and watch what I do with the minutes you give me. I love you, more than the minute you gave me can contain, more than this conversation can hold, more than you will fully understand until the day everything becomes clear. Give me the minutes, my child. I will make them count, always, without end. By done. Full 20 minutes. Script ready. Copy-paste. Car. My child, I am not finished yet. You gave me 1 minute, and I took it, and I built something with it. And now, I want to keep going, because there is more I want to say to you, more I want to give you before this moment ends and the world comes back in with all of its noise and demand. So stay. Just a little longer. Give me these next minutes too. I want to talk to you about the version of yourself that shows up when no one is watching, the version that exists in the private moments, in the car alone, in the quiet of early morning before anyone else is awake, in the space between sleeping and waking when the real state of things surfaces, before the defenses go back up. I know that version of you. I see that version more than any other, and I want to say something to it directly today, because that version, the private one, the unguarded one, is the one that needs to hear this the most. You are doing better than you think you are. I know that might sound like a platitude, like something people say when they do not know what else to say. But I mean it specifically, with full knowledge of everything I have seen in your private moments, the struggles, the failures, the days when the private version of you was not proud of what it found when it looked honestly. I mean it with all of that in full view. You are doing better than you think you are. The standard you are measuring yourself against is not my standard. It is a standard built from comparison, from looking at other people's visible lives and measuring your hidden life against them, from expectations that were placed on you by people, or by culture, or by your own perfectionism that were never reasonable to begin with, from a version of good enough that keeps moving every time you get close to it. I measure differently. I look at the whole picture, the intentions behind the actions, the effort behind the results, the faithfulness in the small things that no one notices, the getting back up after the falling down, the choosing to try again after the failing. And when I look at that whole picture in your life, my child, what I see is someone who is trying, someone who keeps trying, someone who has not quit even when quitting would have been understandable. That matters to me more than the polished version of success that the world rewards. I want to speak to the relationship you have with yourself, because I think it has been unkind. I think you have been harder on yourself than you would ever be on someone you love. I think the voice inside your own head, the one that evaluates and judges and keeps score, has been saying things to you that you would not tolerate hearing said to someone else. That voice is not mine. I want to be clear about that. The harsh, exacting, nothing is ever quite good enough internal voice. That is not how I speak to you. It never has been. My voice toward you sounds like what you have been hearing in this conversation. Like love that knows everything and chooses you anyway. Like patience that does not keep score. Like the steady, consistent you are mine and that does not change kind of acceptance that no human relationship can fully provide. Start treating yourself the way I treat you, my child. With some of the grace you extend to other people. With some of the patience you would offer a friend who was struggling. With some of the understanding you would give someone you loved who was in a hard season. You are in a hard season, and you deserve the same grace you would give anyone else in one. I want to close with something practical. Something you can do today. Not someday, not when you feel more ready, but today. That will begin to make the difference between the life you have been living and the life I am calling you into. Give me the first minute of tomorrow, before the phone, before the news, before the obligations of the day come rushing in. Just 1 minute. Eyes open or eyes closed. It does not matter. Just a turning toward me. A simple acknowledgement. I am here. You are here. Let us begin the day together. That 1 minute will change the day. Not dramatically, not every time. Not in ways that are always visible, but over time, over weeks and months of first minutes given to me, the days will begin to feel different, more grounded, more held, more like something you are walking through with someone, rather than something you are just surviving alone. 1 minute, my child. That is all I am asking for. You gave me one today. Give me one tomorrow, and watch what I do with the minutes you give me. I love you. Today, tomorrow, always, without end. My child, I'm still here. I know you might have thought this conversation was winding down. I know part of you was already beginning to prepare for the moment when it ends. Already bracing slightly for the return to the ordinary. The noise, the demands that have been waiting patiently on the other side of this pause. Already wondering how long what happened here will last. Before the weight settles back in and this moment becomes just another memory of something that felt real for a while. I want to address that bracing directly. Because the fear that this will not last, that what happens in moments like this one fades too quickly to make a real difference, that fear is one of the things that has kept you from fully receiving what I have been trying to give you. If part of you is already anticipating the loss of this moment before the moment is even over, you cannot fully be in it, and I want you to be fully in it. So stop anticipating the loss. Be here right now. These minutes are real. What is happening in you right now is real, and the work I am doing in this moment does not evaporate when the words stop. It continues in you, in the unseen places, in the ways that only become visible over time. Be here now, my child. The loss can wait. For right now, be here. Those small moments are not the warm-up for the real thing. They are the real thing. The big moments that you are waiting for are made of small moments, exactly like these. The breakthrough that feels sudden and dramatic from the outside is almost always the result of 1,000 small choices made in the dark, unseen, unrewarded. Each one adding to something that eventually becomes undeniable. Keep making the small choices. Keep giving me the minutes. The big moment is being built from them. I want to speak to your purpose now, because I know that is something that has felt unclear, maybe for a long time. The question of why you are here, what you are supposed to be doing, whether your life is amounting to what it was supposed to amount to. The nagging sense that there is something more you were meant for, something specific and meaningful in yours that you have not quite found or not quite stepped into yet. I want to address that today with something that might reframe the whole question. That is purpose, my child, and it is available to you every day, not when the circumstances align, not when you finally figure out what you are supposed to be doing. Now, in this day, in the small moments of this ordinary life that feels less significant than you think it should. Your life is more significant than it appears from the inside. I see the ripples. I see how you have affected people in ways you will never know in this life. I see the moments where something you said or did or simply were reached someone in a way that changed something for them. I see the accumulated impact of a life lived with more love and more faithfulness than you have given yourself credit for. You are not living a small life, my child. You are living a real one, and real lives, lived with genuine love and genuine effort and genuine reaching toward me. Those lives matter deeply, in ways that the world's metrics for significance will never capture. I want to speak one more time to the minute. The 1 minute you gave me at the beginning of this. Because I want you to carry something from this moment forward. A specific, practical, this is what I am going to do thing that will make what happened here extend beyond this moment. The minute you gave me today, I want you to give it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next. Not as a religious practice you are obligated to maintain. Not with guilt when you miss a day, just as a habit of returning. A daily choosing to stop, even briefly, and give me the first moment of intentional presence before the day takes everything. Build that, my child. 1 minute at a time, starting tomorrow morning, and on the days when the minute does not happen. When the morning gets away from you and the day is over before you remembered, do not let guilt make it harder to return the next day. Just return. The next morning, the next available moment, the next time you remember, return. Without apology, without explanation, without needing to make up for the missed day. Just return. I am always here when you return. Always. The returning is never too late, never unwelcome, never met with anything other than, there you are, I was waiting. Let us begin again. My child, this conversation has to end now. The words have to stop. The minute you gave me has turned into many minutes, and those minutes have held real things. And now it is time to carry those real things back into your life. Carry this. You are known. You are loved. You are not behind. You are not alone. You are doing better than you think. Your life matters more than you see. And the God who made you has not finished with you, has not given up on you, has not stepped back from your story. He is still writing it, right now, in this moment and in the moment after this and in every moment of every day that follows. Give him the minutes, my child. He will make them count. I love you, always, without end, forever. Bye done. 10 minutes extension ready. Copy paste car.